everyone, it's me, Andrea Taylor, and you're watching Vlog.
The most famous reindeer of all.
Just
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny...
Okay, so today we are going to have another travel video, and obviously we haven't been traveling because one, we are in a pandemic, and two, I am currently pregnant. I'm almost 29, papuntang 30 weeks pregnant na, and it's very, very difficult at the same time. It's not safe to be traveling when you're pregnant, right? So this video is going to be about what you need to know when you're traveling to Kuala Lumpur, because currently for the last couple of days our family has been really hopeful because there's already news about 2 different types of vaccines being out in the world, though wala pa to sa Philippines. We are very hopeful na by the end of next year, which is a perfect time for our family to start traveling kasi malaki na yung baby namin, we would be able to travel again. So I thought that I'm going to be vlogging about something about travel, and at the same time, like what country in Asia we would want to visit again. So we just want to go back to our memories and our few clips of what we did in Kuala Lumpur. I will put a link up here for all the vlogs that we did. So this vlog is going to be cards about our Kuala Lumpur trip. It was such a great experience, guys, and most probably if we have the chance to travel again post-pandemic, we will definitely travel back to Kuala Lumpur. We are going to categorize this by a couple things. So first is the visa, the weather, currency, child-friendly, transportation, tourist attractions, accommodations, and the food choices. So these are the stuff that para sa amin important when you are traveling as a family or as a big group, especially when you have little children. These are the things that you want to know when you're traveling. So one thing, I'm not completely sure with the new COVID protocols because yun nga, sinabi ko, we haven't traveled outside the Philippines or even outside of Davao for the whole COVID time. So I don't know if you need, I know you need a swab test, but like I don't know the specifics of that, so that you have to research on your own. Also, you really have to know yung mga permit, your travel passes, and your travel documents. You have to find that out. Number one, we'll talk about the visa. So sa visa, for Filipinos, we do not need a visa. So that's great because when we visited, we were a lot. Ang dami namin when we went. So we didn't need to get a visa. So it was just super easy. We just had to buy our tickets, and we bought our tickets ahead of time. So cheap yung tickets namin. Filipinos, you don't need a ticket and you don't need a visa. So sometimes when we look for travel spots or like vacation spots, this is the one thing that we always check. Oh, kung meron bang visa for Filipinos? Kasi my sons still have Filipino passports. So sila, they have to go abide Filipino rules. So kung hindi sila pwede makapunta ng isang country with their Filipino passports, times 3 yung aming gasto for visa, and usually visas are really expensive. Number 2 is about the weather. So the weather, we did not expect it at all. We were just thinking na para siyang the Philippines na mainit, you know, a little humid, but when we got there, it was so crazy humid, like ang init. We were just wearing normal clothes, you know, like what we would wear in the Philippines, so very summer-ish, but we didn't also want to wear like sleeveless or anything too revealing because Kuala Lumpur is a very traditional country, so you really have to respect their laws and their beliefs as well. We made sure that we all, like the girls, we had long skirts, or we had like yung mga, what do you call this? Yung mga scarves, like really big scarves. So when we go to certain areas, kung naka-shorts kami because you know we went somewhere else, when we go to certain places, we have a scarf to cover up. The weather can be really unpredictable, so watch out for that. 3 is currency. So currency, kung i-ano natin, 1,000 pesos is about 84 ringgit. So sa 1,000, so sa 84 ringgit mo, 1,000 pesos na yun. So when I compute meals, dun ako sa margin na yun. If it's more than 90 ringgit, tapos for me lang or something, I don't try to buy that. I feel like it's expensive. Kasi I wouldn't, like in a normal place, like if in the Philippines, I wouldn't buy a meal just for myself for 1,000 pesos, right? So ako, if you're someone like me, I'm really not good with math. I have a calculator and I would like always compute everything. So the currency is not that expensive. Kind of same lang din siya sa Philippines, so you don't really have to worry. And everything there is quite cheap, so we'll talk about that later. Number 4, is it child-friendly? So Kuala Lumpur is one of the most child-friendly places we've been to so far, ha. We haven't really gone everywhere in Asia yet. Hong Kong is pretty child-friendly, but Taiwan, yeah, child-friendly naman din siya, but Kuala Lumpur is like super child-friendly. Like, we really felt safe when we were there. It has the best malls that we've seen. They're very social ang mga malls doon. And all of the malls had like amazing like breastfeeding areas, amazing changing areas. I think I was the breastfeeding Travis when we were there. Of course, you know, it's a very conservative country. I didn't want to pop my boob out anywhere. Though in the Philippines, I'm like, whatever. Pero when I was there, I was really trying to hide or like, you know, do it privately. Like we would feed before leaving. But when we were at malls or amusement parks or zoos, I would always check if there's a breastfeeding station, and I'm so shocked at how amazingly nice all their breastfeeding stations were, and their changing rooms for the kids. They were so nice, parang super impressive talaga. And it's super child friendly because everywhere you go, you can always rent out a stroller. It's super child friendly and family friendly country. There's always like elevators everywhere, so everywhere you go, whether it's a mall or like you know, a tourist spot, there's always a place for kids, and there's always a place for them to have strollers para mag-akyat baba ka or whatever. And yeah, that was really helpful. Number 5 is transportation. So when we were there, we didn't really try the public transportation, but my parents did. There was like one morning they went out for breakfast or lunch on their own, and they said that they used the train, and they said na super ganda daw ng train, and then it was super clean, and there was barely anybody there, and it was like a peak hour. So I was really shocked, and I really wanted to try it, but all the places that we had to go was just in the area, so it's either we walk or we took a Grab. So we took a Grab. Why did we take a Grab? Because when you have Grab, they can input, or you can input already your address and where you're supposed to go, so hindi ka maligaw. Also because Grab was connected to my credit card, so it's like one last thing that I have to worry about. I don't have to always use cash when we go around. So yeah, so we used Grab, and so far I remember we didn't have to use a car seat for Travis dun sa Grab when it's just around the city. But when we went to the zoo, we needed to request a Grab that had a car seat kasi they're very strict with that, and they would really prefer na kapag you have a kid below 2 years old, I think, or 3, I'm not sure, I think 3. Yeah, Travi was not even 3 that time, so 2 years old siya. They would ask you to book Grab with a car seat, which was fine. It was an additional cost of like a couple ringgits. It's not a lot. Number 6 is tourist attraction. So there's so many things to do in Kuala Lumpur that's for kids. When we did our research, medyo na-overwhelmed kami sa karami naming pwedeng gawin, and we were just there for a couple of days. I think we were just there for 5 days. So we really had to do everything in those 5 days. And when we travel, we don't do like 3 things in one day kind of thing. We kind of do one at a time, and then we always have that one day that we don't have any plans, and we just, you know, relax or explore or do something just around the area, or you know, it's just a day that we can relax. Kasi kapag consecutive mo ginagawa yung mga tourist spots and yung mga amusement parks and all that, it's super exhausting as a parent to do that. So we avoid that as much as possible to be exhausted, and we just plan our days with the tourist spots that we went to. So the tourist spots that we went to was first the Batu Cave. It was really fun. It was such a great place. It's one of the things that you have to go to when you go to Kuala Lumpur. Though when we had the kids with us, hindi masyado nila na-appreciate because we didn't ask them to go up, all the way up. Even Sean didn't go all the way up. It was just me, my nephews, and my sister who went up. My parents stayed on the bottom area, and then there was like a cave area there that you had to pay to go in. So they just chilled there, and it was actually really nice that it was so cold. There's not much to do, really. It's more of picture taking, and it's a tourist spot, so it's like one of the things that you have to go to. So we went to that. We went to the Kuala Lumpur Zoo. My parents and my nephews didn't go na with us to the zoo because they're not really interested sa mga ganon. But us, that's the one thing that we really love going to. We like going to zoos. Not saying that we like, you know, putting animals in cages, obviously. It's the only place really that my kids can see these types of animals that they see in books. The zoo in Kuala Lumpur Zoo is not bad at all. They really had a great facility there. It's not the best I would say, that we've been to, but it's okay na din na zoo. So the Petronas Twin Towers, you can actually pay to go all the way up there. So we didn't do that anymore because my parents, they've been to like, you know, the States, they've been to everywhere, and they said that they've done a lot of those things before, and when you get there, it's a nice view. Yun lang. Yun lang daw makita mo, yung nice view. And we just didn't want to have to go there kasi medyo pricey then to go up in the elevator and all that. So we didn't go to the Petronas Twin Towers, but we did take a lot of pictures with it, and during our New Year celebration, we really went there. Kahit na it was almost raining, we actually thought na hindi na matutuloy. But we went there and we saw the fireworks display, which was doon sa Twin Tower. So that was pretty amazing. That was a first for us, and it was so nice. Another one is we went to the KLCC Park. So the KLCC Park is a very big, it's a part of a mall, I think. It's a part of a mall, and it's super big. It is a free park, and yun yung places na sana I knew about, na it had like a lot of fountains, it had like a lot of, parang the kids can be in their swimming attire and play there, because it was so nice, and there were so many kids, and all, and it was just really nice place for the kids to run around. But my kids were able to play there for a while, but we really went there to go to the aquarium. So it was underground, the aquarium. It was so nice as well. Ang daming different types of sharks and other underwater creatures that we were able to see, and everybody had a great time. Even my parents had a great time, and you know, they don't really like going to mga ganyan na stuff, but they had a great time. It was Aquaria KLCC. It was so nice, and it is a must na puntahan. There were a lot of places na hindi namin napuntahan, which is why this video is something like we want to go post-pandemic. We want to go back to Kuala Lumpur, the Butterfly Park, and I think they have like the Forest Echo Park, and there were so many things that we weren't able to go to. There was like an amusement park that was like an hour away, and hindi na namin pinuntahan because we were so exhausted the day before. Okay, so another thing that you have to visit when you're there is their night markets. They are so popular with their night markets. I'm not sure how night markets are going to work post-pandemic because I don't know how they're going to regulate that, but we were able to go to one night market. I can't remember the name right now, but I'll probably have it here, or I'll put a card up here. So we went to the night market, and we were able to buy a lot of food, try different types of food, and it was so good. All the food that we picked up was so good, and it was so cheap. Number 7 is accommodation. So we were able to book a hotel. The accommodations that we had was just within the city. It was so cheap considering it's a hotel. Like, it's not like an apartment, and it's not one of those Hong Kong type hotels na you pay like 6,000 pesos and you get like parang kind of like this bedroom lang. Ganun kasi yung sa Hong Kong. But there, it was really nice. It had a great bathroom. There was internet. Like, it was such a great hotel. And last but not the least is the food choices. So this is very hard when you're traveling. Sometimes when you have a picky eater, you know, it's really hard when you have a picky eater and you're traveling. But when we were in Kuala Lumpur, surprisingly, the kids were so happy with the food. We were kind of scared because we thought that Kuala Lumpur's food was all really spicy. But when we got there, you just have to tell them not to make it spicy. And the kids really love like the kebabs, and they had a lot of chicken when they were there, and I think they even ate a couple of wraps. But the only thing is, because my kids love noodles, and Kuala Lumpur's beef noodle soup was amazing, like so good. So there was no it wasn't a hard time to feed the kids when we were there kasi mahilig sila ng noodles eh. So ayun, it was a lot of stuff that they had to try, and everything was like super big servings. So the food is something that we are so excited to go to. So that's it for today's travel vlog. I hope you guys have an idea of what you can see or experience if you have plans on traveling to Kuala Lumpur. Again, do more research about all the COVID protocols, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the same anymore in the new normal. Hopefully by the end of next year, by the time that I give birth and everything's going to be okay with the baby, hopefully we are going to be able to travel again, and Kuala Lumpur is in the #1 list to travel in Asia. So that's it. I hope you guys are enjoying Vlogmas, and if you like videos like this about me sharing about our travel experience and what we, you know, what tips we can give when we travel, please do comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!